our sister Rosanna, our cousin Sonny, sister-in-law Susan, and Mike, Steve, and Bernie, and Pastor Richard. So, I've been to a lot of memorials, and I've often wondered, what is it that I've learned from this experience? And I hope that today, when you leave the memorial, you'll leave with maybe a lesson or two that you will learn from Warren's life and be able to apply. First, I want to tell you that Warren was a really good brother. He was very kind, very loving. He took care of his siblings. He wasn't the kind of brother who would bully you. He wouldn't, I mean, of course we're brothers, we're kids, so we would argue on occasion, but he was very kind, very loving, and not a bully, not somebody who was disrespectful, and he was an athletic kid. He really enjoyed sports of every kind. He took karate lessons with our brother David. He played Little League baseball with our cousin Benji and our brother David. He was into running. He used to run around the neighborhood all the time. I'll tell you something that really took me by surprise is when I found out he had cancer. I asked him, I said, well, Warren, what was one of your symptoms? And he said, well, I spit out a little bit of blood. And I said, and what did you do about that? And he said, I drank green tea and I ran some more. And of course I rolled my eyes and I thought, okay, that's Warren. So really athletic. In high school, he got the Presidential Fitness Award, very fit. And as you can see in the picture, he was just really, he was a handsome guy. He was very artistic. He enjoyed building models, toy cars. He enjoyed drawing. In high school, he took a commercial art class, and he was a little disappointed one day when his teacher told him, you need to be able to draw really quickly. And Warren enjoyed taking his time when he drew, so he thought that was not necessarily a career that was going to be for him. But he really enjoyed drawing. He enjoyed making things out of wood. He was in wood shop, and he would make little chests out of wood, really beautiful chests. I was a little surprised at some of his color choices. As a young adult, he bought a car, a Mitsubishi car, and the color was light avocado green. And I thought, wow, that's not a color you see very often, but it was his. And then another color that really surprised me was when Mom and Dad remodeled the home, he painted his bedroom kind of soothing, pale lavender. And Steve told me that's the color of creative people. So Warren was a very creative person. He, as a young boy, he delivered the Herald Examiner newspaper in the neighborhood. And from his money, he was able to develop a couple of hobbies. He collected stamps, he collected coins, he had silver dollars that he kept in plastic sleeves. He was very proud of his coin collection. Silver dollars and Indian head nickels, I believe it was. He was also somebody who loved going to movies. We had a theater in our neighborhood in Echo Park, Studio One Theater, and the three of us, Warren, David, and I, before Rosanna was born, we used to run to the theater on the weekends, double matinee, and action movies, Disney movies, Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello. He really loved going to the movies. Even as an adult, he and Steve used to sit at family get-togethers and talk about the latest action flick. He loved music. As a young adult, he was really into R&B and soul music. His favorite artists were Earth, Wind, and Fire and Barry White. And some of you have heard of that artist. And he was really, through his love of music, he loved moving and dancing. Being a very physical person, he loved dancing. Our friend Marlene loved going dancing with him when we were in school. Lillian and he met at a disco. And when he traveled to Spain, he entertained our Aunt Tiny and Uncle Freddie by showing his moves, his fancy footwork in Spain. After he got out of the Navy, he became involved in his church, and he worked his way up to becoming a pastor. He retired from his job in 2018 and was able to fulfill his dream of he and Lillian working as pastor and chief accountant and right hand Lillian in the church. So he was very proud of the fact that he was able to enjoy one of his passions. Unfortunately, it was in 2019 that our dad passed away, and in this very church, I didn't think that Warren looked ill, but several people made note of the fact that Warren didn't look well. And little did we know, it wasn't until after the ceremony that his wife Lillian confided in me, and she said, "Warren's very sick. I'm taking him to the hospital tonight." And within a week, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And it came as a huge surprise to all of us that Warren, someone who was so health conscious, so into exercise and sports, would fall ill by this illness. And he had a 4-year struggle. His journey was marked by highs and marked by lows. The highs included the fact that Warren leaves a legacy, and his legacy is this. Lillian said that he was a stubborn man because he didn't want to go to the doctor for his yearly checkups. He didn't want to get fully vaccinated when COVID came out. But through Lillian, she took him to all of his doctor appointments. He came to trust in medicine and trust in doctors. So his legacy, one of his legacies, is that through the drug Tagrisso that kept him alive for 3 years, he helped scientists in learning how this medication is effective. And that's one of the legacies of Warren in dealing with his disease. The taking of this immunotherapy will help scientists in their